Thank you.
We all know our speaker today because we've heard from Deidrey before. Deidrey Francois is a soulful singer, songwriter, speaker, and theatrical performer. A proud mom of 3, she's earned 2 Posey Musical Honorable Mentions and a 2020 Empower Posey nomination. She performs in Unity churches all across Canada and was the soloist at last fall's Unity Canada mini conference in November. That was in 2021. Her intent is to express spirit in melody, to bring joy, and to touch a listener's heart. You can hear Deidrey on her, I think it's a Facebook page. It's called Here to Bloom. It's Deidrey's wonderful gift to the world, and it's offered on Sundays at 7:30 Eastern time, but out here that would be 4:30 Pacific time, but she's not doing it this evening. She's taking a break this week, but any other time you can join into Here to Bloom. So please join me now in welcoming Deidrey back to Unity of White Rock. The mic's yours, Deidrey.
Thank you so much, Pixie. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It is surely a good thing to be here with you today. Oh my goodness. Let us begin with a song today. I hope you're feeling really well. And again, if you want to participate, you can leave your cameras on if you like. Here we go. This day is a blessing. This day is a gift. This day is healing. And I look for the good in it. This day is a blessing. This day is a gift. This day is healing. And I look for the good in it. Oh, I look for the good in this blessing of the day. I focus my attention to the wonder of this blessed day. I am grateful and positive, inspired. I'll seize the day. Today is a blessing of the day. This day is a blessing. Come on, let's affirm it. This day is a gift, healing. This day is healing. I look for the good. I look for the good in it. This day is a blessing. This day is a gift. This day is a gift, healing. This day is healing. As I look for the good in it, I look for the good in this blessing of a day. Oh, I look for the good in this blessing of the day. I focus my attention to the wonder of this blessed day. I am grateful, positive, inspired. I'll seize the day. Today is a blessing of a day. That's right, that's right. Today is indeed a blessing of a day. I like to start with my intention statement. It is my intent to share my gift of song, my love, and my passion to honor and to serve Spirit. Let it reach whomever it is meant for, however it is meant to, in humility and grace and in love and light. And know that all I can offer really, truly, is just me as I am, learning and growing right alongside each and every one of you. I have been thinking about what Lent means to me. And, you know, I grew up Catholic. Lent was a very ritualistic time. I don't even remember much about Lent, to be honest, as a child, other than that we ate a whole lot of fish and there was ashes or something on my forehead. And As an adult, I really have not upheld to these rituals. It kind of felt like a time of self-deprivation and punishment and dirt on my forehead in a society where everything already just feels so hard. And even though I do treasure my Catholic upbringing, actually, I really had no interest in self-deprivation. But especially when I'm sitting in this body that's kind of just felt so unhealthy in the mind and emotions, so disconnected to myself, to ourselves. And with all of this unnecessary violence and uncertainty in the world, it's kind of hard to stay grounded, in our stressed out bodies, and even less in spirit, I find. Many of us are feeling completely out of alignment with our mind, our body and heart and spirit. And I came to realize perhaps it's time to take a deeper look at Lent, right? But before we dive in, I'd like to start with a poem that will lead to our first exercise, because we're going to do some exercising today. So this is a poem that was written by John Rodel. It goes like this. My brain and my heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big of a mess I have become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week and my heart gets me on weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes they send to one another always say the same thing. This is your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesday, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying, so you know what? Lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights, I sneak out of the window, down my ribcage, slide down my spine, and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair. That's always open for me. And I sit, and I sit, and sit, until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said, I don't know. I don't know how I can live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday. My head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow. I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with the mistakes of my past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you are exhausted about your heart's obsession with the past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There's no yesterday in your lungs. There's no tomorrow there either. There's only now. There's only inhale and exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your head and your heart work their relationship out. So this morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves, and my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and walked to the door of my lungs. Before I could even knock, she opened the door, and with a smile and a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" So I invite you now to take a moment to open the door to your lungs. We'll do a meditation as one of our exercises, breathing deeply, focusing only on the breath. Not on yesterday, not on today, not tomorrow, just this moment with spirit. Alignment, you see, starts with the focusing power of the breath to ready us for the necessary work. It is a way of hitting the reset button to turn the radio off, turn the ramble off, increase our brain function, the anxiety, the stuck emotions, the healing trauma, and lessening distractions and deep healing. So if you would, for a moment, Join me. We're going to use this particular technique. I'm just going to put this on right now. We're going to use this deep technique, and it is called the square. I don't know if you might have heard it, 4 square breathing. Okay? We'll use this method. It's a rhythmical musical meditation that we'll be doing, so you will have a rhythm going all the time. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold it for 4. We're going to breathe out for 4 and hold again for 4. You're going to imagine you're breathing like a square. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Here we go. Take a nice deep breath. Here we go. In. 1. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. We're going to do it in the rhythm. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Pause for a moment. Here we go. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. And hold it. 2, 3, 4. Let's relax our breathing for a moment. And I want you to keep doing that square in the same rhythm. In. Here we go. And in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Keep going with that rhythm. In and hold. Out and hold. On your own. I trust in the divine that breathes through me. Breathe. I trust in the divine. I trust in the divine. I trust in the divine. Breathe through me. Breathe through me. Let us return our breath to a normal pattern. As this poem accurately expresses, we seem to always be in some conflict within ourselves, aren't we? Our heads tell us one thing, our hearts tell us another. We've all heard the expression, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? Which implies that our bodies are also relaying a different message than we think we want. What are some of the things that you think cause conflict between your mind and your body? Maybe you can write that in the chat if you'd like. What are some of the things that cause conflict within our minds and our bodies? For example, I think that maybe telling ourselves that we want to lose weight, yet every day some of us still choose unhealthy meals or we eat in excess. I know I can certainly relate to that. Getting older can sometimes add to the conflict between mind and body, right? We can't seem to do the things that we used to do before, even if in our minds we don't necessarily feel that we can't, right? Obligations and responsibilities can also create that conflict between mind and heart and so on. Inner conflict arises because of the struggle with our own opposing ideas, our own opposing desires and beliefs, and we deal with that conflict in many ways, right? Sometimes we project that inner conflict back into our bodies as disease. And to paraphrase Eric Butterworth, he says, man's inner conflict creates physical ills. And among other things, we deal with that inner conflict by withdrawing or disconnecting, numbing from ourselves, disassociation from the parts of us that make us whole. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. So let's do our second workout. This one is a check-in. We're going to do a quick scan of the 4 parts. But in order to do this work, we need to call awareness to that problem area, right? So we're going to close our eyes. If it feels comfortable for you, just close your eyes. This mantra I will sing is called an illumination or light mantra. And it's based on the number 4, which means the number 4 spiritually encourages us to honor sacred time with spirit, to align mind, body, spirit, and emotions with the physical world. So I will sing the mantra 4 times as we prepare for our second time in contemplation. Omnipresent intelligence of the physical, mental, spiritual worlds, we meditate on thee. Illuminate our intellect, illuminate our darkness, illuminate and lighten me. Omnipresent intelligence of the physical, mental, spiritual worlds, we meditate on thee. Illuminate our intellect, illuminate our darkness, illuminate and lighten me. Omnipresent intelligence of the physical, mental, spiritual world, we meditate on thee. Illuminate our intellect, illuminate our darkness, illuminate and lighten me. Last time. Omnipresent intelligence of the physical, mental, spiritual world, we meditate on thee. Illuminate our intellect, illuminate our darkness, illuminate and lighten me. Now let us start with our connection with spirit. Take a moment, make a mental note or jot things down if you have some paper as they come up. Don't think too hard about it. Just write down the first thing that sort of comes into your mind. How is your relationship with spirit? Maybe 1 to 10, 10 being exactly what you want. Is it easy to feel close to spirit or God? Are you finding it hard to communicate with God? Could it be better? How? How could you make it better? Let's think about mentally. Again, jotting things down quickly, whatever comes to mind. How are you mentally? Do you feel that your mind is working with you, or is it working against you? Are you often overwhelmed? Are you able to focus? Are you able to plan? How's your memory? Again, rating from 1 to 10, 10 being exactly how you want it to be. Let's look at things emotionally. Emotionally, how are you doing? Are you often anxious? Are you ruminating on anything that has not gone well in the past? Are you in touch with in your desires? Are you living in integrity with yourself and with your beliefs? Let's do physically. How is your health? Is there a particular spot that troubles you? Are you often doing things that go against what your body needs? Again, 1 to 10, how is your health? How are you physically? When you are ready, let us take 2 deep cleansing breaths in the same 4 square method. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, and hold for 4. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. One more time. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. This time we're going to just take a nice deep breath and we're just going to release it with an audible ah. Okay, here we go. Ah. So why these questions? These questions are to illuminate the dark places for a deeper understanding of ourselves, being brutally honest with ourselves and with God. God, I struggle to pull together those parts of me needed to do your work. How can we serve God when we are not fully present to our lives, to our own lives? How can we creatively share the best of God within ourselves while experiencing an unhealthy or unloving relationship with ourselves? How can we change that dynamic when we struggle to be quiet, even just for a moment with ourselves? How can we become more spiritually developed when we struggle to remember our own spiritual nature as life provides even more chaos? How can we tap into God's mind when our own minds seem to be avoiding us, or we're avoiding it? Lent is a time of realignment of the mental to God mind, the emotional to deep love, acceptance, and compassion, the physical body to the holy temple and channel through which we serve spirit and each other, and spiritual to living our Christ nature. Metaphysically, Lent is the time of deep reflection. It is a time to assess, to release what no longer serves us, renewing our focus on our divine nature. Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days to do this process, to ready himself, to ready himself for this work. Lent is a time of taking all of those thoughts and fears and realizations into the wilderness of our minds, just as Jesus did. It is the time to contemplate how to reduce our inner discord or inner disconnection. I like what you said, Marcus. It is that disassociation, that disconnection, right? It is time for us to release that, right? And come together as a whole being again. Again, a time to contemplate, right? That discord, that disassociation, that disconnection that causes such dis-ease or disease in our minds, body, heart, and spiritual relationship with God and with ourselves and others. But many of us are under the impression that Lent is just those days between Ash Wednesday and Easter. That's it. Lent's not longer than that. Contemplation is only the beginning of the process. We have to make time for that work, and that is the part that's hard. The point is to ask ourselves the hard questions about what is keeping us out of integrity with ourselves. What is my heart wanting that my head is denying? What is the physical body needing that the anxiety-filled mind is sabotaging? What is the work that Spirit is calling us to do that perceptions of our physical, mental, or emotional fears are getting in the way of? This is going to be some heavy lifting, and we will not be comfortable. But it will be healing. It will definitely be healing. Here we go. I feel a healing. I feel a healing moving deep within. I feel a healing moving deep within. And I want you to do the actions. Here we go. I feel it start down deep at the bottom of my feet. We're going to bring that healing up. I feel a healing moving deep within. I feel it move to my knees, cleansing all disease. I feel a healing moving deep within. We're going to keep going up. I feel it rise up to my tummy, cleansing and healing all my worry. I feel a healing moving deep within. We're going to bring that energy up, healing energy to our hearts. I feel it deep within my heart, mending all my scars. I feel a healing moving deep within. Into our necks, I feel it rise up to my neck. I let go, let God do the rest. I feel a healing moving deep within. Into our minds and brain, I feel it move inside my brain, healing despair and pain. I feel a healing moving deep within. And surround your entire body with that loving, healing light. I bathe in God's sweet light. I feel a healing moving deep within. I feel a healing moving deep within. I feel a healing moving. Healing, healing move. Healing, healing move. I feel a healing. My talk today was all about doing the heavy lifting. Doing the heavy lifting, the weight lifting, to align our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and our spirit, to create that alignment. And you know what? I ask for enthusiasm because this work requires your intense interest, excitement, and approval in order to start and to work. But it will also require intense dedication, commitment. Oh yes, yes. A bodybuilder sculpts and transforms his body, his or her body, after years of eating certain specific calories, never indulging in things like desserts. A gymnast falls many, many times before mastering a routine. A dancer spends years building calluses under their feet in order to be able to perform their amazing routines. Guitarists, oh my goodness, bloody fingers, cracked and bloody fingers, multiple times over multiple years before being able to reach the stage where they have built up enough calluses so the strings no longer cut through their fingers while they're playing. So I invite you to stop denying yourself the experience of alignment because it is uncomfortable. Stop denying your spiritual growth because it feels like it's taking too long. It's 40 days, right? However long it takes. Stop accepting physical illness as a means to placate our inner conflicts rather than identifying the true sources of our inner conflicts and dealing with it once and for all. we have this lovely way of avoiding things, right? Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical weightlifting is going to be hard. So let us not kid ourselves. The phrase no pain, no gain is real. It is real. And I know the Unity way, we have to focus on the positive. Yes, but you know what? The reality is no amount of positivity is going to lessen the pain. The pain will be there. And did you know that in order to grow your muscles in the gym, you actually have to apply a load of stress that is greater than your body has ever adapted to? If you want to stay with what you've always done, nothing happens. Have you ever done a workout or gone dancing, or maybe you cleaned around the house or something and you just feel so sore afterwards? What you've experienced is muscle damage. Damage, yes, I said damage. We actually literally have to rip our muscles apart in order to grow more muscle. It's true. Our immune system jumps into action to repair those damaged muscle fibers, adding more threads, increasing and strengthening the muscle. That's how we grow our muscles. It's literally by damaging them. I think you get the point though. Growth is painful. Yes. But I think once we get over that false expectation that it's supposed to be easy, we can get started. Right? We can get started for the real work. No pain, no gain. Maybe not everything's going to be hard, but there's going to be a lot of hard stuff in there. So if you're going with the idea that, oh my gosh, this is going to be great, this is going to be so easy, you're going to be so disappointed so fast you are going to quit. So let us just not kid ourselves anymore. Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness alone. No one can do this for you. Jesus went to the wilderness alone, which means that no one can do this for you. No one can lift those weights for you to build that muscle. If someone is carrying the weights for you, it's likely because they're doing it for themselves. Getting to the point of knowing what to do, of doing this work in the wilderness, it is self-directed, it is self-driven, it is spirit-centered work. It is the kind of work that happens in silent contemplation, in prayer, in journaling, in an angry cry or a frustrated screaming in your car, in intense feeling of fear, anxiety, heartache, sadness, numbness, and asking questions about why those feelings are there in the first place. It is when we make commitments and we ask God to help us. We ask God to help us, to keep them. It is where we formulate a plan on how we can keep and maintain this commitment to ourselves. Right? And maintain this commitment to ourselves and to God once and for all. And we cannot keep getting in our own way. What would you say? What would you say if your opinions were valued? How would you feel if you knew you were safe? What if you knew your presence was treasured? Empowered in love, light, in grace. Deep inside, I know you know, so don't you stand in your own way. The one you hide will show if you don't stand in your own way. Don't you stand in your own way. Remember, your life matters. Yes, you truly matter. Don't you stand in your own way. What would you be if you could be anything? What would you try if it all fell into place? What if you knew you were worthy of everything? Empowered in love, light, and grace. How would you live if you knew your life mattered? Who would you be if you knew you were whole? What would it take to see your perfection in a world with a mountain of seeds filled with dreams? If you'd only believe they would grow deep inside, I know you know. So don't you stand in your own way. The one you hide will show if you don't stand in your own way. Don't you stand in your own way. Remember your life matters. Yes, you truly matter. Don't stand in your own. Don't stand in your own way. Don't stand in your. Don't stand in your. Don't stand in your own way. Don't stand in your own way. Don't stand in your. No, no, no. Don't stand in your. Don't stand in your own way. Don't stand in your. Don't stand in your own way. Don't stand in your own way. Don't you stand in your own way. Deep inside, I know you know, so don't you stand in your own way. The one you hide will show if you don't stand in your own way. Don't you stand in your own way. Remember your life matters. Yes, you truly matter. Don't you stand in your own way. Don't stand in your. You know, I was watching this video of a blind woman running. This woman of a blind woman running, and beside her is this gentleman, and he is running just as hard as she is, you know, and she wins the race. And what's really interesting about that whole thing is she has her guide with her running, and he's running just as hard as she is so that she can win. You know, during this workout of our inner conflicts, of our inner, you know, disassociation or disconnection, it is the part where we get to train. We get to follow the plan that we map out in our journals. We get prayer partners and accountability partners who believe even harder in us than we do sometimes, who support us along our journey, and we support them in turn. Because through the wilderness journey, though the journey is done alone between us and spirit, the training and implementation is done in partnership with others. Those who keep us at our word, those who run alongside us, just as that man did for the woman, those who nudge us forward when the weights are just too heavy and we want to quit. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Lent is a year-long deal. It's a year-long deal. It's not just the 40 days and then there's Easter, boom, we're done. Okay, now it's time for something else, right? Everything brought to the surface must be dealt with. We don't go to the gym for 40-day boot camp and think that, well, okay, I'm done for the rest of the year. That's it. I don't need to do any more exercising, right? In Lent, so much attention is brought to the crucifixion and the resurrection, and not enough time is spent on the 40 days. The 40 days may seem like a really long time for us, for those of us who have, you know, more issues causing that inner conflict, or shorter for those who started this process a long time ago. But I'd like to burst your bubble on the resurrection for a moment. Our lives isn't a movie, right? Our resurrection may not be this huge climatic cinematic event. There will be no Academy Awards for the best resurrector, no awards for the best spiritual, emotional, mental, or physical growth, none of that. No, there's no crucifixion. Our crucifixion may have big events, right? Like maybe we release a toxic relationship or quitting a job, but mostly they will be tiny events that others may not even notice. We may not even notice them, right? As we release our old patterns, we may not even notice until for a long time after we go, wait a second, I haven't done such and such for a while now. This is great. And our resurrections too may also be very tiny changes as we align ourselves with God mind and the truth of our being. And our resurrection is not a finish line. It is the beginning of another 40 days, another uncomfortably painful weight training session, another crucifixion of the old patterns and old ways of thinking, because every day as new challenges come into our lives as a result of the choices we make or have been made for us, there is more to bring into alignment so we can continue to live in integrity with God, mind, and within ourselves. That is the reason why Lent occurs every single year. It doesn't just stop. It didn't stop. Like, it's not going to stop next year. There's going to be another Lent. It is a reminder that dying to the old and birthing the new version of ourselves is a cyclical process. Each ending is a new beginning. Each death is a rebirth. Each period of contemplation, the beginning of transformation, which allows us to step more fully into living our Christ nature. And our 4 parts, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, are more in harmony with each other and how we want to show up in this world. So we need to align our thoughts with who we want to be in this world, right? We need to align our thoughts with who we are, who we want to be. Here we go. I am what I think, so I align my thoughts with what I want to do in this world. I am what I think, so I align my thoughts with who I want to be in this world. I am beautiful. I am love overflowing. I'm innately good. I am spirit expressing. I am what I think. So I direct my thoughts to good. I am what I think. So I align my thoughts with how I want to show up in this world. I am what I think, so I align my thoughts with who I've come to be in this world. I am peaceful. I am joy overflowing, happy and grateful. I am spirit expressing. I am what I think, so I align my thoughts to good. I am beautiful. I am love overflowing, happy and grateful. I am spirit expressing. I am what I think, so I direct my thoughts to good. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Here's the thing though, everybody. No matter how well we direct our thoughts, the hardest part is putting thought into action. The hardest part will be getting into your car and driving to the proverbial gym. We are so good at making resolutions and commitments, but very few of us get into the car every day and drive to the gym. Very few of us make that walk, that trek into the wilderness for our 40 days, right? We say we want to do it, but very few of us will actually do it. So I invite you to make a commitment to yourself, to bring harmony and wholeness to your being as a child of the divine. And I will commit to doing the same. So my darlings, welcome to your personalized mind, heart, spirit, and body weight training session. Because you know what? The work starts right now. Namaste.